Hi, my name is Javier Paliero, and this is 7-Minute Futures, a short-form podcast where I ask thought leaders around the world for the future of technology and its impacts. What needs and ideas do new generations bring for shaping internet technologies? Are we ready to meet the need for new rights that will emerge from those uses? Today's guest challenges us to rethink our approach and adapt both our technology and our institutions to create a better future. Gbenga Sesan is the Executive Director of Paradigm Initiative, a Pan-African non-profit organization working on digital inclusion and digital rights. Originally trained as an electronic and electrical engineer, he has worked for many years now as a social entrepreneur, ICT expert consultant, and digital rights activist. So let's go to my first question. Looking 3 to 5 years down the road, what is the single most overlooked issue at the intersection of technology and human rights that will soon become impossible to ignore?
When I look 3 to 5 years down the road, I think one of the most overlooked things for the intersection of technology and human rights would be agency. And I know agency is a word we use a lot, but by that, I mean new people are going to come online. They're going to get introduced to either existing or new technologies. And when they do, they are going to interact with that technology not in a predefined way. For example, if you're already using a platform, you know all the rules, but people are going to generate new data. They're going to engage in different ways. And at the same time, they will want their rights respected. Unfortunately, what we're used to right now is that a platform creates something and then expects everyone to engage in a certain way. And of course, when rights are violated, they then say go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps. Things are going to change because people are going to use the internet and use technology in different ways. At the same time, their rights must be respected. A very simple example that we've seen already is how people are creating new content and are insisting that, yes, I've created this content and I've shared it with you publicly, but you can't use it in any other way. And that's why we now have things like purpose limitation. It's also the same thing for a new generation of young people. We're talking about Gen Zs now. We're soon going to talk about a new set of younger people who will not just be digital natives, but will become second generation digital natives born by digital natives themselves. And that means that they will share information as they want. We've been called prosumers. I'm definitely very far from Gen Z, and I've been called a prosumer. I've produced content and consumed it at the same time. So they would even do more than that. They will produce, they will consume, they will determine the terms of engagement with information that they share, even publicly. And their rights will have to be respected. The right to be forgotten and all of those new rights will have to cover this new way of either younger people or new people who are coming online using technology.
And here's my second question. If you had the power to implement one hard reset, a radical change to a policy, a piece of technology, or a social norm to better protect digital rights, what would it be and why?
If I had the power to implement one hard reset, that would definitely go to the core of social networking. Right now, what we have are platforms that have created walled gardens to make money. That was not so at the beginning. I studied engineering, and one of the things that I was excited about, and I'm still very much excited about, is the power of protocols. Protocols are agreed on, used to create experiences that anyone can engage with. There is an internet protocol. There is this protocol. This is how we engage with it. This is how we exchange communications. But that's very different from what we have in the core of social media right now, is walled gardens. They've created platforms instead of engaging with protocol. And I think that the challenge with hate speech, the challenge with maximizing gain from negative virality is also built on this particular challenge. People create walled gardens. They want to make money. It's a zero-sum game for them. But this goes very much against the principle protocols of engagement online, of even the internet in itself. If the internet was cornered and made personal by the people who wrote the protocol and the things that eventually led to the international network of networks today, we would not have the internet the way that it is. So if I had a power for one hard reset, it would be that no one should be creating platforms and walled gardens, but that we should definitely focus on protocols for not just engagement, also for networking and for the whole space of social connections. And if anyone then wants to create walled gardens, they should be taxed 100%.
Our guest, Gbenga, points to an optimistic future. He sees that new and younger users will define their own ways of using technology. As an expert from Africa, his perspective shows a global shift. A new generation born and raised in technology and deeply attuned to the needs of their community is developing a sharp awareness of the impact of technology on their lives. Those needs and new ways of using and modifying technology are becoming direct demands for rights. Users with this perspective will expect technology to respect their dignity and autonomy by default. Our challenge is to promote technological appropriation so new uses can lead the way to political pressure for change. The central need for new rights is undeniable as technology becomes more pervasive in our lives. A caveat is whether our democratic institutions, in their current form, can react effectively. Can they create the policies these new uses require? For example, the rapid development of AI, especially in the area of open source models, presents a clear opportunity to shape a revolutionary technology from its birth. We must build it on a foundation that protects privacy, access, and safety by design, and rein on those who refuse to do so, with alternatives at hand. What do you think about this? The conversation continues on my Substack at javierpaliero.substack.com. See you in the next episode.